Having a power meter is really useful for a number of different things. Specific training and intervals, testing your form, and also monitoring your progress. But it can also be a really useful tool for helping you to conserve energy, either in road races, sportives, or group rides. So here are 5 ways where it will help you do just that. The first way to conserve energy out on a ride is to try to limit the amount of time that you spend above your FTP or functional threshold power. Any time you spend below it is predominantly aerobic, so efficient, but then any time you go above it for extended periods, then it's going to be anaerobic and inefficient. If you could think of it a little bit like this, in your car when you're using your turbo, you can go a lot faster for short periods, but you are going to burn through your fuel much faster. So you need to find out what your FTP is, and then at your event or on your ride, try to limit the amount of time you spend going above it. So pay attention particularly on climbs or following other people, even if it feels easy at first. If you do it right, you'll conserve loads of energy that you can save for later on in the ride, where it really counts.
A power meter is also the perfect tool to make sure that you get your pacing on an event absolutely perfect. If you collect all the data that you build up through training, then you'll quickly build up a picture of exactly what you're able to sustain personally over various durations. Now the problem is often that on the day of a big event, the anticipation that you've built up and the adrenaline of the big day can mean that the power that you're doing that's well over what you normally do can actually feel quite easy, and that's why you should look at the numbers that you've got down below you and make sure that you stick to what you know you can do. Then in the second half, if you're still feeling really good and really fresh, feel free to push on and try to get that personal best. If you can make yourself more aerodynamic, that will also mean that you're more efficient. Basically, you'll be riding faster whilst producing exactly the same amount of power. And if you've got a local track near to you, you can also do this using your power meter. Head down there on a still night and ride multiple times at the same speed in slightly different positions, and you should be able to track changes in the power output that you need to make to go at that same speed. Now you can also track smaller changes as well. It's a little bit more complicated, but there's a wealth of information online. You should look it up because it's worth it. It's actually just free speed.
Free speed can also come from drafting, which is where you're sheltering from the wind directly behind the rider in front. Now, if the wind is coming from the side though, you will have to change where you sit in relation to that rider to gain the maximum advantage. Now, you should be able to do it on feel, but having the power data there will tell you whether you've got it in exactly the right sweet spot to gain the maximum advantage.
So there you have it, 5 ways to try and conserve energy if you're fortunate enough to have the use of a power meter. Try to limit the amount of time that you spend over FTP. Use it to pace yourself, particularly over longer events. Also use it to try and get into the most aerodynamic position possible on your bike and to maximise the advantage of drafting behind others. And finally, do some post-ride analysis to see if you can pinpoint any areas where you're going wrong, or at least points where you can improve. Now, if you need to know how to test your FTP, we've got a video to show you how to do just that, and you can find it by clicking up there. We've also got another great video which shows you how to test your power other durations, and you can find that by clicking down here. And finally, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got loads of how-tos. There are more to come. It's absolutely free. Just click on me.
I ran over my tree.